So it is 7/16, September 12th, 2020. Just got off the dock in Port Washington. Heading out for another wet and lumpy day on the lake. So out of pure laziness, we're motor sailing to our first waypoint because we're going to make a substantial turn and I don't want to screw with having to trim the sails twice. Or sail, I'm not sure we're going to have sails today. But as predicted, it's a little buff and rumpy out here. Are you having fun yet? Hey, BG.
I'm just thinking, how many lives are the alligator?
Not many. You're one in a million, hon. You're just a big blur because there's a raindrop on the lens. The raindrops, I guess I should say. There we go. That won't last long. Yeah, so it's rainy, it's windy. Got an apparent wind of, depending on which way the mass is swinging, 22 to 12 knots. 12 to 22 knots. Average that out, I guess. Somewhere in the 17 knot range. Okay. It's time to do some sail trimming. See you later. Bye. Okay, so got a little bit of head sail on her. Pretty deeply reefed. Got a reef in the main. Winds today are supposed to be 15 to 20 knots, gusting to 25, I think, somewhere in that range. So far we're seeing roughly 15, 17 knots of wind. And lumpy, of course. We're going to make a turn up here, and the winds are supposed to veer more southerly today. So we'll probably end up running under the main alone before the day is out. But I wanted to take advantage of broad reach while we could do it. So again, got a little bit of jib out there to speed us along. Getting along at about 6 knots. It's good enough for me. Arrival in Manitowoc somewhere in the 3:30 range if our speed holds up. That's good enough for me, because you know what awaits us in Manitowoc.
Beer and buffalo wings?
Beer and buffalo wings. Beer, of course, not being a food group. That is a beverage. But wings being one of the 4 essential food groups. In no particular order. Once again, wings, barbecue, burgers, and pizza. And actually, it may be any one of the above tonight. Possibly a combination thereof. But we're going to have to earn our salt today, so it's pretty good sized rollers so far. We're just going to wallow along all the way up to Manitowoc. So a little progress report. Not quite halfway to Manitowoc. I doubt you can see it on this. The stacks at the power plant there in Sheboygan are right over there. So Sheboygan is just ahead to port. And I had put in a course that was pretty far offshore to avoid all the fish traps and everything, and it was a little too far. We kind of cut the corner, heading back in now. But yeah, it's put the wind almost on our stern, making the steering a little challenging. We'll see what happens with the jib. It's getting hard to keep it filled. May have to furl that. We'll see. But it's still working for us right now. taking a little trick, giving me a break, potty break. That's challenging. Seas like this. There's a nice big one behind us there. Wow, cool. So the seas have moderated a little bit. We had a pretty raucous ride a little while ago. Not too bad now. And it feels like the winds have moderated, but it's kind of our downwind turn, I think. Still showing what?
Well, it goes from 14 to 18.
14 to 18, and that's apparent. We're sailing downwind, so it's still gusting well over 20 knots. So anyway, there we are. Off Sheboygan. 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 That's fun to say, Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. What'd you think of Sheboygan?
It was alright.
There's a good one. What'd you think of Fort Washington?
I liked Vicky in Fort Washington.
I like Vicky in Fort Washington too. I can't remember the name of her business, but she's got kind of a antique slash curio shop.
Yep.
You bought a bunch of stuff there. Some stuff to gift to folks back home and some stuff for us. A lot of nautically themed items there, which appeal to us for some reason. So, anyway, on to Manitowoc. Blotted out a part of the horizon. The whole power plant disappeared. The whole power plant. So about 1:55 in the afternoon. About 13 miles from Manitowoc. Showing arrival about 5:30 still.
5:15.
5:15? Cool. You'd seen earlier today an arrival as early as 2:30. That ain't happening. Not even if we got her on the Iron Jenny at this point, so. The winds have been kind of on again, off again. Waves are starting to moderate a little bit. Not nearly as many are cresting as is to be expected with the winds dying down a little bit. So still got a few days of our vacation left. I gave Michelle the choice. We could cross the lake today, Bentwater or Ludington, someplace we've already been. I'm not sure, without doing some research, if anything south of that is even open because of the high water levels and everything. But she didn't want to.
People are strange.
Yep.
The world is strange.
Kind of strange times.
I don't want to wear a mask.
She didn't want to wear a mask. She's tired of the beer bug BS. I'm tired of the beer bug BS. We're doing as much much of it would have been going on. We probably would have canceled our second trip up here this year, especially in view of the project we have going on at home. But here we are, last day on the water. Should arrive in Manitowoc a little after 5 today. Start decommissioning the boat tomorrow. We're scheduled for a haul out Tuesday, 12:45 p.m. So the boat will be going to the shed until next year. So the shoreline has been obscured for hours. We haven't been able to see it. Oh, mist or fog. I don't think it's fog. There's some patchy fog in the forecast. I think it's just misty enough that it's obscuring it. Even though we're only about 4 or 5 miles away from the shore. Right, hun? What do you mean you assume? You at the wheel, you're not navigating?
I'm not navigating. You're my navigator.
Well, it is just before 7 a.m. September 15th, 2020. It's a Tuesday, and I'm heading over for the gym pole, have the mast unstepped, and head up the river. There goes the 8th Street Bridge in Manitowoc. And there's Michi. Hey, Michi. That's a depressing sight. Okay, so it is Friday, September 11th, 2020, and we're at the top of the stairs across from Michelle. No, wait, across from the lighthouse. And the lighthouse, of course, is closed. It was closed the last time we were here, and it's closed again, and it looked like you could make an appointment maybe to get in there, but you have to wear a mask and everything, not surprising, so we're not going through the lighthouse. And you can't go to the second floor. What? Oh, well, I'm looking down the stairs.
I like that view better.
Okay, so I'm getting back to the view. There's the new lighthouse out there, the end of the breakwater, the other breakwater. Pretty. Change the field of view or the zoom on this while it's running? No, apparently not. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off again. And that's what it looks like when it's not zoomed on the GoPro. That's what Michelle looks like when it's not zoomed on the GoPro. can't see the pores in her face anymore. That's what the lighthouse looks like when it's not zoomed on the GoPro. And that's what the stairs look like. So we've been up these twice today, and we just came up the long flight of stairs next to the Catholic church over there. Pretty impressive. You can just see the steeple. And what we've determined on our second visit to Port Washington, especially during the days of beer bug, this town is boring as shit. Sneaks up on me every time, but I love that view when you come around the bend. Which you can't see on this at all, but that little gray line way out in the distance is Lake Winnebago. And that beautiful key lime green next to me is Michi. Say hey, Michi.
Hey, Michi. The National Weather Service writes the most remarkable of these events is the very early snowfall of September 16th, 1881, which was amazing not only for its earliness in the season, but also for the extent that Summit Medical Care Center at 720-600 Main.
He's turning good.
I tell you, you're going to